Welcome to WWB Ward-Wide Broadcast. We're back again to talk more about Ward. Really quick, I wanted to mention again that we are on YouTube. So if you guys would please like and subscribe and view it and thumbs up, all the things you can do over there. I know there was some talk about the whole comment section. Turns out if you press the kid option to make sure that it's okay for kids, that also gets rid of the comments. So I figured that out when I to now.
Figured it
So
out the hard way.
yeah. I was trying to make sure it was friendly for kids and that we could have the kid audience, but unfortunately, to let you guys all talk in the comments, I had to remove that. So no more kids allowed. only adults. just
Be like that.
just wanted to let everyone know that. So now you can go in the comments and leave your comments. And like I said, if it's something we're willing to talk about, we'll definitely talk about. But anyway, we're gonna keep moving on here. I want to bring up the warm up tournament real quick. We had a pretty good turnout. We had 9 people contest, or the 9 people participate. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to all of them because I do know that they gave me all their time on a Friday, and I know that's not always the easiest thing for people. Speaking of that tournament, I think we had a pretty good turnout. A lot of people were running. I mean, Billy, you were in the tournament, but there was like raccoon knights, assassins. I mean, it was very common. What else am I missing? I know our winner had a kraken.
Kraken.
A couple of vampire decks, which I was pretty surprised. No shark decks. I was expecting at least one shark deck, but there was no shark decks. I was a little sad that I went to go record the final match with Billy and Aura Sniper, and turns out that they wanted to do just the gentleman's. I mean, it was 11 o'clock. It was late at night, right, Billy? And I get it. It was definitely longer than I was expecting it to go on, but I think
I hadn't even got my deck ready for the Shakopee tournament, so I was like, dude, I still gotta sleeve my cards. I still gotta put it all together. I gotta make Erica's deck. Like, I wasn't ready.
Man, at everything still to do. Yeah, no, it's all good. Like I said, I was a little sad. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to watch the tournaments. Like I said, I was ready to record it. I was like all hyped. I was like, oh, we're gonna get a nice broadcast of this finals. But I understand it. The gentleman's shake, and you guys rolled it off and just let the dice decide who won. So it ended up being Aura Sniper. So congratulations, Aura Sniper. I appreciate your participation, and I think it was a pretty good turnout. I mean, we did see your guys' match because you both played in the upper bracket, and I think it went pretty well. I actually missed the end of it. I know that when I was looking, it was graveyards where Billy had more HP in the graveyard, and by the end of it, before I left, somehow Billy managed to pull it off, and the couple turns that he got at the end to make it so that he won by the graveyard HP. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that, Billy, but I was kind of curious.
Yeah, so both of us had very heavy sustain decks. So, let's think about it. By when you called time, we basically got one turn each left, and he had 110 in his cemetery. So he had a Kraken and an Assassin, and then on his last turn, he was like, okay, goes to the pass, pull the Kraken out. He's got 10 HP left. And then I think he just passed it to me. And on my turn, what did I do? I had 130 in my cemetery, and I was kind of looking at my hand. I had everything in my hand set up to like do the series of cards I wanted to play to sustain the rest of the match, but they got too late, and time was called. I'm like, I was about to just scoop and say, yeah, you got me, good job. But then I looked at my hand, I was like, actually, I think there's a play here. So I played Silence from the Grave. He countered it. I played Scroll of Silence, so now I got a free play. And then I played Visitor to get a Ghost of the Past back. I played Ghost of the Past to grab a Kraken. I played Holy Light to grab a. I don't remember what
You had all the draw power. No wonder why.
Yeah, well, I had it all, and then I played Revival Priest to pull an assassin on the field. Played Backstab, kill his Kraken. So he got 110 in his cemetery, and I think at that point I just had Raccoon Knight in there. or I don't remember.
What a
No, it
crazy
would have been a
play.
turtle. It would have been 50. So that put 110 or 100 to his cemetery. He had a total of 110, and then he played another Kraken or played whatever he did, and that was the game. Yeah, so I had 50 HP left because I had a turtle in there.
Yeah,
So
that's a
that's it.
crazy hand and turn. I mean, yeah, like I said, I looked away from it for a little bit. I was spectating something else, and I come back, and it was like, oh yeah, Billy won, and I was like, when I left, you were at 130, he was at 110. I was like, unless you had a bunch of ways to get things out, I was like, that's pretty impressive. And yeah, I was expecting
There's
him.
no time limit that would have gone in like 90 minutes plus for sure. We
No,
both just had the cards to just go the distance.
well, and like you said, with a tournament like that on a Friday, it's like you can't. I mean, just in general, you need some kind of time limit because it's like if you don't, it's like those things would just eventually get out of hand and the times would get all screwed up. So, but
I was
anyway,
happy how it played. Yeah, I was like, good job. Let's just roll. I'm tired. I got
yeah,
stuff to do.
no, I hear you, but no, like I said, it was a very good turnout, and again, I appreciate everybody that showed up for the tournament, and then yeah, as Billy was saying, I mean, thanks to him and Aura Sniper again. Aura Sniper, congratulations for the win. But because they did a quick finals, I was able to get some sleep and prepare for the next day. Sounds like Billy was able to prepare. Which obviously was a very big day because you know we have a special thing, you know, or another tournament. We had the Homecoming Madness Homecoming tournament and Shakopee, and yeah, now that it's over, there's three of us here that are now tournament winners, not just two. So I actually can say I am a tournament winner and join
Yeah.
the crew. gotta
Ooh.
have
I don't
gotta
know if you
have.
remember. I don't know if you remember, Harry. I told you on the last podcast. I'm like, I don't know. This might be your tournament, and lo and behold,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
congratulations.
I appreciate. No, yeah, exactly. I mean, that is, you know, I was hoping for one, but you know, at the same time, I was definitely I know that you guys are quite the opposition to beat, and so yeah, I was happy to have the outcome, but yeah, I mean, definitely, you know, you guys all had quite a chance to get there. I mean, I played Tyler in the finals, I played Billy too to get there, and it's just like, you know, you guys were definitely putting up some trouble for me. I mean, we'll definitely get into the finals in a little bit, and I'm sure me and Tyler will have a lot to discuss about our feelings and our takes on that, and Billy. But before we talk about all that, the biggest part, the bets, boys. We got the bets. Don't think we're forgetting the bets. So
Yeah.
first
The
we were doing
numbers.
first bet was the over under. All right, so turnout wise, I'm just gonna start off and say I might have be losing all the WWB things too because I said there was gonna be more than 30 people. And Billy, I'm pretty sure you said 20, 24 was the number, so 24 to
I said
30.
over 24. Yeah,
Yeah, and then
Yeah, over
Tyler
24.
was
I went
the
under.
under.
he took the under, and I'm pretty sure Tyler was the winner because there was exactly 20 people at the tournament, which is still a good turnout. I'm happy with the 20 people. Like I said, I was expecting a little more, um, but yeah, Tyler takes the over under. You know, it was a good win, and he properly understood how many people were coming to that tournament. He even said
I don't think
16.
we ever.
I said
I don't even.
He
16.
did say 16, but
Yeah, true. We I don't think we ever like went through everyone's decks or asked around everyone's decks for the points for the cards or whatever. But
yeah, we were gonna get there for the most played card. I agree. So this is where we're all gonna do our best and try to see who had it. I mean, me and Billy we talked a little bit about it, but yeah, Tyler, I agree. We didn't do the very best job of going through everybody's deck, but I mean, like we all
yeah,
kind of played. I would say most of the you know
people.
people that were in the tournament. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I ended up having a backstab. I had two irresistible loves, so that goes on top for Tyler, and then I had a visitor from beyond, which also goes to Billy. So I was giving everybody their flowers and their things. I'm trying to think. I played Boodle a couple times. I don't think. I mean, I think he had irresistibles. He definitely had at least one irresistible, but I didn't see a lot of. Definitely didn't have backstabs. He never played a visitor from beyond against me, but like you said, I didn't go thoroughly through everyone's deck. So it's like I know Boodle, I know I played Billy, I played Tyler. It's actually pretty funny that it's like I didn't really play a lot of people, you know, big spread of people. Like I played one match against Billy. I played 2 matches. Well, technically 3 matches against Tyler. I played Nick Q. Shout out to Nick Q. He was a new contestant or a new player at a tournament. That was his first tournament he went to. And yeah, I mean, obviously he wasn't totally prepared for what the Ward tournament scene was, but I mean, hey, it was still fun having him and talking to him. And by the end of it, he was hanging out with everybody, figuring it all out, getting into the community. So it was all good, but. His deck definitely didn't have anything crazy in it. He was kind of just running a standard like 35 card deck, that you'd get out of a starter pack. So it wasn't anything too crazy. So I don't think he had any of those cards in his deck. If he did, it would probably just have been Irresistible Love, if anything. So I don't know. What about you guys? What else did you see at the tournament?
I mean, I was running 3 backstabs, 2 irresistibles. I wasn't running Visitor from Beyond, but then I know, yeah, like you said, you were running. You had irresistibles and backstabs.
Yeah,
Harry?
I had 2 Irresistible Loves, and then I had 1 backstab for myself, I guess.
Yeah, and then Chris had either 1 or 2 irresistibles and a backstab, but he didn't have Visitor either. But
Wow.
Billy was
I don't
saying
think.
he's seen other people with backstabs, so I was curious. How many other backstabs did we see, boys?
Mason had at least 1 backstab.
Ooh.
Yeah, he has the
Um,
150, so it makes sense.
And then I know Scott also had a backstab.
Oh yeah, Scott did
Yeah.
have a backstab.
I had 3, 2 irresistibles, 0 visitors.
Billy's not even repping
then-
himself. Jeez, Billy, come on.
No, terrible bet, right? Erica had 3 irresistibles, 1 visitor. Because we made a bet. Yeah, we made a bet. Sorry, Erica's asked. She's like, "Why are you telling my stuff?"
Sounds like there wasn't that many visitors. Maybe we have to give it to Tyler. It sounds like Tyler's out doing me in numbers. I think he's right. I think Irresistible is the winner. So we might have to give both of them to Tyler. So Tyler, I think
Sounds like it.
we will give you for right now. You have the honorable WWB winner for the bets. So we got to take that from you. I'm gonna give you 2 points. Tyler's got the 2 points. He's winning the bets. We're gonna keep track of these.
Eric, it sounds like Visitor was not as played as I thought it was. So Tyler, I owe you a booster next time I see you.
Oh no.
I'll take it. It's fine.
Heck yeah. All right. Yeah, but no, we're definitely keeping track of this. Somebody's getting an honor at the end of the season for sure. Whatever the season is or the end of the year. I'm giving someone
at least I can win something,
Yeah, exactly. We're having a WWB award between us, and whoever wins the most, whoever's the best gambler gets the award for sure.
Right.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so I mean, we kind of touched a little bit on decks that were also at the tournament. Were you guys surprised? I mean, we did see a couple of sharks. I'm kind of blanking at the moment. What else? Just Assassin was another very common card I was seeing. I mean, decks were running it. What other decks did we kind of see? I mean, obviously we'll touch over our decks. I mean, you guys had the dragon. I don't know. You get to put the name on the deck, but I don't really know what else there was. What did you guys play against? Cosmic Demon, I guess, was what Boodle was running.
Boodle. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what I even played against. I
just
remember your matches. I remember the matches with Chris. I played against, I believe, Jeremy.
He's checking the board.
Yeah.
Watch out, folks. He's got to look at the board.
Jeremy and Brian.
There you go. What was Brian running?
He had Assassins. I know that. I think he had Krakens as well.
Ooh.
I don't remember what Jeremy was running. I know in the first game I was able to
Pretty
get
sure
my combo.
Jeremy was running bees.
Ooh, was he running? He was running the high board?
Yeah. He
Ooh.
was running the high board.
Oh,
That's
he was just
right.
playing Alec. I was just hanging out with him for a second there, and they were playing in Untap, and he was playing his bees again. Oh, I like that he's taking the bees. That definitely.
Yeah, then Chris Sharks, you Alcaraz, and then
Yawn.
you 2 more games.
Tyler's getting us with the late hour podcast, the yawn.
Mhm.
I love it. Yeah,
Always
the
yawn.
Sharks. Yeah,
There were at least 4 shark decks.
for sure. Yeah, I didn't get to play any sharks, but yeah, definitely a good turnout with that. And then like you were saying, Erica's deck was a
King deck.
ooh yeah. Jesse had
Oh,
the
that's
Undead
true. Yeah,
King.
Jesse.
Yeah, it was sad Jenna wasn't able to
There's
make it, but
Mason was running a creator deck as well, and yeah,
ooh, there
that
we
Jenna
go.
wasn't able to make it. But yeah, 20 people that ended up showing up. It was
Yeah, it was
pretty cool.
pretty good turnout. But like you said, yeah, sharks. I mean, was that probably the number one then? If there's 20, shark deck was most common deck, or was there, I guess just assassin deck? I don't know what we call that. Just kind of like a speedy assassin decks, or we're kind of running around.
It was definitely the most common card was assassin for sure.
Yeah, creature card.
Yeah,
Cool.
for sure.
Well, speaking of decks, though, I mean, do you guys want to explain your dragon deck that I think some people might be interested to talk about or hear about, or just maybe explain
Take
it
it
a
away,
little bit,
Tyler.
and then I can
You
talk
want
about
me to start with it?
and then I can talk
I mean,
about
I
the
can explain it.
Elkanos.
I don't care.
You don't have to go deep, but maybe just give a little bit of a like here. This is kind of what my deck plan was. This is
If you want to go first, and then I'll catch up after that.
Sure. So Tyler and I were running two different variations of the same deck. Main idea is you have a deck full of stall, and then you have 3 eternal dragons and no other dragons in your deck. So that when you run out of cards or creatures to play, the only creature you have left is the eternal dragon, which requires the 2 dragons to sacrifice. So you make a dragon stack of 3. You don't have to wait till you run out. You can play it earlier. But the main goal is to get a triple eternal dragon on the field. Um, Lock him out of playing Magic with Irresistible Love. Play Turncoat to swap creatures with your opponent. And then once you've done that, um, either use
You
their
want that
creature.
demonic magic too?
Yeah, there's demonic magic to half Eternal Dragon's HP in half, so he's at 60 now. And then use either their creature you've swapped or use a revival priest to get an assassin back out. And then however many backstabs you deem necessary to kill the thing. Once it's dead, it goes to your opponent's cemetery. That's 360 HP. No matter what's in their cemetery, they lose the game.
right.
It is more than an 8 card combo, so it is extremely hard to pull off, but it feels pretty fun to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're definitely showcasing the power of Turncoat. I think that's a card that a lot of people. I don't know if they've really realized how much advantage you can get with that card. And I mean, you're definitely using it in a way that I don't think a lot of people are using Turncoat with. Just basically being like, here, take this bomb, take this big dragon that I'm about to kill on your side of the field, so that you take all that graveyard damage. Like, I
That's
I
right.
I think it I mean, when you guys showed me the design of that deck, I was like, wow, that is a lot of thought. You guys put plenty of time, and I want to applaud you, because it's like I think that does take a lot of time to actually think through a lot of those decks where it's just like this deck can function, can work. It sounds like you said, Billy. It sounds very gimmicky, sounds very troll, but I love that idea. I love that in
I
War
call it a
there's
meme deck because
exactly.
I feel like it's a meme, but I mean, low key, it's kind of fun and good. So
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like I think it performed very well. I mean, Tyler took second. I mean, you took what, like sixth or so. You guys
no,
performed pretty
I,
well. Okay, Billy doesn't want to take
I don't
any.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I took. I went 2-2, so
Well,
probably
you
not
had to
that
go
great.
against me, so it's all
The
I think it
winner.
would have been seventh, but
right. But you know what I mean. I think it performed pretty well at the tournament. Like it definitely has a potential. Like it's not like you said, it's a meme deck, but I think it definitely can do the job, can get there, can definitely pull off a tournament.
Also, Tyler was running, in my opinion, a more optimized version of it. I had Erica paint over my giant turtles to make them Blastoise, and I really wanted to play with them. So I had to
They were
tweak it a
beautiful.
little bit to make it work with Giant Turtle, which is um, probably a worse version of the deck. But I had fun, so I don't care.
No, you.
yeah,
Oh,
pretty awesome. And instead of using giant turtle, I ended up using an Alkanos shell. So I basically used Alkanost, have one be out for as long as I can have them out for, bounce them back to the deck, and then redraw them out of the deck and get another. Or actually, I forgot. But when you once you bounce the cards, I get to like summon a creature for free from my hand, get a free draw, and then I can get things like Scarlet with Heroism out, and yeah, I don't know. And then I ended up putting a couple assassins and one more backstab in at the last minute. Definitely helped out a lot.
And by bounce, you mean Wrath of the Old One, right?
Yeah, playing Wrath of the Old Ones, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that card, I mean, I think that definitely was one of those cards that, like you said, you kind of showcased the power of that card too. Wrath of the Old One. I mean, it's definitely a card that I think after that tournament, people are definitely taking a look into. By people, I mean the Ward, the Ward staff. They definitely. I don't know if that's exactly how they intended that card to be, but it definitely does a lot for a lot of decks where it's just like, hey, I get to bounce both creatures back to each other, my opponent's hand and my creature back, reset my HP, get a bunch of value out of this card and a draw potentially. And like you said, Tyler, it like opens up you access to, hey, I have this creature in my hand that I want to bring out. I can use this card to access my hand to get that creature out without having to kill my creature. So it ends up actually being like a ton of HP built into the deck where it's like you don't need as many creatures, which obviously, when we get to my deck, my deck has a very similar functionality to it, which I think like you said, we definitely showcased. Before we get there though, like Billy was saying with his Blastoise, I think that was probably one of the coolest parts about the tournament. I want to kind of get your guys' take on that. I think a lot of people, they had like their own little like theme of their deck, and they brought their whole little thematic outfit that matched it. I know I see someone with like a shark little container, and they had a shark shirt, and they had a shark everything, and other people were
Love it.
wearing their little outfit, their little thing. I mean, it's definitely cool to see how like people are just having fun with it, getting into the spirit of the game. I was curious about just getting your guys' take really quick on that before I touch on my deck and how the end of the tournament went. But yeah, what did you guys think about everybody just kind of like coming in? It just gave it such a lively feel, I felt like, with just the different thematics that everybody was running.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing like everyone after quite a while of having a big tournament, it was nice seeing such a big showing. You kind of had your different pods, or I kind of like to call them. There's, me, Harry, Chris, the up north pod, and then you got the pod of Jake and his friends, and Billy and Erica, I guess, are kind of a pod in themselves.
Yeah.
Usually Jenna's with Jesse, but Jenna wasn't there, unfortunately. You got the ward staff, and it's just really nice to see everybody again after quite a while, and just, yeah, a really good environment. Everyone was having fun, a good time, a lot of trades going on, people, chatting up, having good conversations, talking about memes in the Discord. It was a really good time.
No, for
Billy?
sure.
Yeah. We had talked about last time the the online tournaments are fun, but you can't really replace the hype of a in-person tournament and the flavor of everyone bringing, what their deck and what they, were all the accessories and just all the banter. That's the in-person experience, and I was reminded very quickly. I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. Glad to be back. So, yeah, loved it. Had a wonderful time. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, no, it was definitely refreshing. I was very surprised. Like you said, it's like when you get there, it was like, wow, I really haven't. It's been a little while since we've had like a tournament, or at least it felt that way. And it was just like, yeah, it just brought such a smile to my face. You just walk in the door, everybody, like Tyler was saying, just had great energy. It was just. It was honestly just like, oh, like I wish you could just encapsulate that. And like I said, like I really wanted to get a recording or just have it, somewhere for people. I just want everyone to eventually get to feel that feeling, because yeah, it's just so good. Like I can just see in the future, it's like this is exactly what we need. Is just this community is going to keep growing and growing, and we're going to get bigger venues, and eventually everybody, even all the people that are not really able to come to these tournaments right now, are going to be able to make it. And it's just like, oh, I can already just tell. It's like it's just gonna be such a good energy, like Tyler was saying, with the memes and Discord, everything. It's just like it just brings so much good atmosphere to it. And yeah, no, I really like the thematics. Like I said, everybody was bringing their own little containers and their own little styles and their own little things, and it just makes it very wholesome and fun to get into. And I guess I'm glad you guys shared your takes on that. I think it was very fun turnout. I guess to finally let's just wrap it up, get it to the finals. Yeah, so for me it was like I busted out the Elkanost. I brought the bird people to the tournament. I feel like I was pretty proud of my deck going into it. I like Tyler was saying, I put a lot of effort into figuring out the whole Elkanost shell. I mean, he kind of used it as that wall. I just went full Elkanost. I mean, I messed around a little bit. I was like, maybe I should put a sack creature in here to give them a little more buff. But again, like the way the Elkanost work is they have a really powerful summoning effect where when you have an Elkanost on the field, every once per turn on the one per turn cycle, you get to summon either an Elkanost or a Harpy, and so you're able to keep bringing out more and more birds to the field and swarming your opponent. That's the whole theme of the deck, right? It's like swarm them with a lot of limited summon creatures. Well, they kind of have their own unique ability where even if the main Elkanost dies, you can still have all your creatures on like all the limited summons don't go back to your hand, don't go to the graveyard, don't go to the deck or anything like that. So it's like they don't actually follow where a lot of other like limited summon decks do follow. And so my deck really took advantage of that fact that it's like, okay, I keep these limited summons on the field. And so it's like I put Flame of the Infinite, obvious card. If I have a bunch of limited summons, they're all getting buffed by Flame of the Infinite. And then I just tried to make ways where I could keep up that power, that aggression. I mean, I utilize cards like Irresistible Love, obviously, to just prevent my opponent from having reactions. As Tyler figured out, too, I used the 151 card, Silence from the Grave, which I think we might be seeing, that might be another very powerful card that comes into the game that really shuts down your opponent. I mean, yes, it does destroy the board, but it also, again, just negates creature effects, negates like they can't play magic. They can still do damage on like Irresistible Love, but I think the fact that like creature effects are negated, magic is shut down, like is very oppressive, very powerful card. But anyway, I utilized those cards to kind of just slowly pick away at my opponent, try to kill other creatures. And then let's just say it got to a late game scenario. There's cards like Judgment in my deck where it's like, okay, if you bring out a big creature, something that my Elkanost maybe can't deal with, that's an AL, anything higher than 6, I'm just going to Judgment your creature. And if it's your last creature and you sack to summon it, you just lose the game. Like, the game just ends. So it's like my whole deck was like kind of a fast beat down deck where it was like, let me just kill all their little creatures, have them sack into a big creature, and then just play Judgment if I have to. And, it ended up being a pretty solid deck, yeah, as my opponents can say. I mean, it went pretty well into that Dragon matchup, too. Like I said, I played Billy, I played Tyler. It was... They were definitely very close. I mean, Tyler beat me at the first in the upper bracket. He was able to take me out. So it's like I said, it's like they all had a chance. Like their decks were definitely compatible, like able to compete with my deck for sure. But yeah, that was the final pick.
I think in the finals because obviously I had made it through the winners bracket, so you had to come up and beat me twice in the finals, and I think both those games were probably one-turn games. Like, if I had even just one more turn cycle, it probably goes to me.
Oh, yeah.
That was our game, Harry. Like, you won on your last turn available.
Billy,
yeah, with the last Foggy Night.
They were nail biters. I mean, there was games where I top, my first creature I summoned was a Harpy, which is kind of the worst case scenario with my deck. It's like you want to get an Elkanost. I mean, I had an Assassin, I had a Corn Creeper, I had a couple other creatures in there, but like you really do not want to open with just a Harpy. Like that like a lot of people were telling me, they were like, "Oh, why don't you put 2 Harpies in? Then you can get the full 5 creatures out on the field." But I was like, well, no. Like, if you think about it, like putting another Harpy in here just ruins the consistency of the deck, because now it's just more chances that I draw into just that Harpy, and now I have to play the Harpy, and it's just like it's like, yes, it sounds counterintuitive when you think about it, but it's actually like better off that you leave a slot open so that you can have less chance of pulling those Harpies and have more consistency of pulling the Elkanost, pulling the other creatures that you needed. And I think it turned out very well, but I'm definitely curious to see if other people kind of pick up on that. Like I said, I posted the deck in the Discord. I really don't want to like keep secrets. I want people to like, get a look at the deck, see if it's something they want to run. Because like I said, I think limited summons in Gen 2 definitely didn't really get to see much play. And like I'm honestly, I wanted to test the water, see what now with Gen 1, Gen 2, like what the power or like what you can do with those kind of cards and like limited summons, and just get that feeling. And so like that's kind of the deck that I brought, and I thought it performed pretty well.
I'd also like to point out that just from a little bit of history from Gen 1, the we'll call it the counter to limited summon decks, because in Gen 1 it was essentially you play Wizard as your wall, and then you put Squires out and maybe a helping hand with the, I don't know, a creator, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. And then
Right.
so that's how you get your board up, and then just protect it with Magic Kill. The counter to that was essentially either Wrath of the Old One or Judgment. And as far as I can tell, there's only 3 people running Wrath of the Old One, and they're on this call. So you essentially had a counter-free run, if you can call it that. And you lost one game, and he had a Wrath. I'm not saying that's why he lost, but I mean, like, if Wrath and Judgment were more prevalent, maybe you would have had a harder time.
No, yeah, I agree. I think it's like that's the thing, right? It's like the deck building. It's like I think it's kind of interesting too with your guys' dragon build. It's like I don't think anyone in Gen 1 played that dragon that way. And like I said,
Ever.
basically all those cards that you guys had in your deck for the most part were Gen 1 cards. Like that deck, it could have
Yeah,
been
like the only
viable
thing that
easily.
isn't, yeah, is like Irresistible Love, Scroll of Silence. Like everything else is basically Gen 1.
Right, and it's just like there is a chance that deck could have been played in Gen 1. Obviously, I understand Scroll of Silence and Irresistible Love definitely make that deck way more consistent because it's like, as Billy was saying, it's an 8-card combo. It's like if you have to also have negation card, a bunch of negates to stop their stuff, at some
Yeah.
point it's probably pretty easy for that negate person to hit something that will kind of just end the combo, right? It's like they'll have a
Yeah.
way to stop it. So it's like I think you're right. I think with Gen 2 it definitely made that deck like pretty viable. And honestly, like I said, I want to give you guys credit because like that deck took a lot of energy and a lot of thought. I mean, I was there, testing it out, seeing how it would work, and I thought it performed very well.
Did I have one more amendment to say about my comment? I'm the old Wrath of the Old One was a good counter to limited summon. Since it's been, I'm not gonna call it nerfed. I'm gonna call it changed because I don't think it really nerfed it. I think it just changed the way it played. Since it's been changed, now Wrath doesn't send limited summons back, so it actually is more of a favor to the limited summon deck. So I think you took perfect advantage of the mixed tournament, Harry, and brought a very good deck to it, and you made it very well.
Thank you. But yeah, but and other than that, any final thoughts on the tournament as a whole? I mean, I think it was a pretty good showing and pretty good turnout. And I mean, obviously, I'm a little biased. I feel like I've got a lot out of it. But I mean, you guys, like I said, I think just overall, it's like I was happy to have an in-person tournament again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had a really good time.
yeah, I did too. My one comment, uh, I was, I was looking forward to see what kind of cards got played with, kind of decks got played. And the one card that surprised me the most is the amount of people running Psychic Toad, because in Gen 1, it was essentially just a chaos card. There was no tech to it. It was just, I gotcha. Or if you knew your opponent was running Creator Heroism, like that's a good time to have it. But other than that, it was just kind of like we're throwing it in there for fun, and I don't have a real tech to it. And it it killed me in my second loss. So I was shocked at how many people were using it, and it kind of worked. So I don't know if that means I'm playing with it now, but um, I guess it's something to be mindful of.
It's kind of funny you bring that up because when my first edition of my deck, I I told Tyler about I was like, I put Psychic Toad in there, and he was that was like, I don't think that card's good at all, and I was like, yeah.
We even had a little fight about it. We were a little upset with each other for like an hour because he thought I was hating on his deck. I was like, that card's dog shit. I was like, you gotta
There it
run a different
is.
card, bro.
But it turns out
It's
he's
like you
not.
gotta run a different card, bro.
Yeah, and it turns out he wasn't wrong because like the way we figured out with like Wrath, So like you were saying, Billy, the way that Wrath of the Olin works, it bounces both creatures, and then you as the player who played the card has
Have
to
to
play the
summon
creature
first.
first. So with
Which means you
Psychic
can't.
Toad,
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't work because you're playing Psychic Toad first. Its effect's going off because it's a summon effect, and then your opponent plays. So you don't get any value out of it. So Tyler was totally right. He convinced me. I was not gonna run Assassin in my deck. I was actually gonna run the Toad, and you know he's partially to probably give me the win for for the tournament because I ended up using that Assassin to do quite a bit of damage to him in one of our games in the finals.
I was gonna say the Psychic Toad is dog crap, but
no,
Tyler can say
Billy,
Awful card.
I'm not gonna lie. I really do like Psychic Toad. I really think it's definitely gonna be a card people need to be thinking about when they're building their decks.
Well, let me
Especially in
tell you
competitive.
what. I'm not fuming, but I'm still like scratching my head over it because in my second loss, I was playing Mitch, and I had set up my board beautifully. I put a hint of aggro in my deck just in case I needed it for if I had a chance to just strike through everything or a shark deck or whatever. So he gets the perfect shark. I set up my board with Assassin, Flame of the Infinite, Backstab, Irresistible Love, and Foggy Night. So I've got him locked. I've got him. He can't attack. I'm gonna destroy the perfect shark. He's got 2 sharklings left. That's the end of the game. All I have to do is just wait 2 more turns out of the 3, and I'll just murder the 2 sharklings, kill the perfect shark, and what does he summon? A stupid toad. And I'm like, why is that in your deck, dude? And he says, well, you know, a bunch of us play the Sharks, and it's really good in the mirror matchup. I'm like,
True.
yeah, I guess.
I mean, you're not totally wrong. I mean, it makes sense for sure.
Yeah,
But I do hear you. Definitely can be a very annoying card, and I definitely see why they limited it. Because yeah, I can't imagine if decks could have 3 Psychic
the game
Toads
would
in them,
never
that
end
would
if you
just
had
be
3.
just so too much
Yeah, it
stuff
really
going on.
wouldn't.
But no, I think you know, I overall thoughts. You're right. I think Psychic Toad was definitely a surprise card. I mean, I'm trying to think. I was gonna say, Billy, the only other tilting matchup might have been when you know had to play me and the Corn Creeper. You were not expecting. He
I'm
did
not
some.
as tilted as that. That was just a good play, and I wasn't ready for it.
Honestly, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it either. And then, like you said, you figure out the whole like killing your creature rule, which I understand was a little bit of a heated topic at that tournament.
Oh
People were
no, it's
talking
been on
about.
the rule since day one.
Yeah, Billy was getting a little frustrated that everybody was just like, "That's not something you can do. You can't kill your creatures." And Billy's like, "Yes, you can. Here, I will pull up the rules now." Definitely was getting a kick out of that. Even it was just funny because it didn't involve Billy at all, and he ended up having to be the guy who was trying to just get everyone to understand. Me and Tyler were like, "We're totally okay with the way the rule worked for our
I'm
game.
not trying
It's
to,
all good."
yeah, I'm not trying to be a
Everybody else
rules
was
Nazi,
freaking
but
out.
it's clearly in the rules.
No, yeah, but either way, I think that kind of wraps up for the homecoming tournament. I mean, like you said, it was a very good tournament. Uh, I want to get on to something else. Speaking of the tournament, speaking of a lot of crazy cards like Psychic Toad, like Turncoat, I think it would be fun for us to go through. I have a segment. It's called Irresponsible Takes. So it's kind of a shout out to the Discord where Ryan, thank you Ryan for giving us such a cool. Well, I should say thank you Ryan for making the cool card, Irresponsible Love. But thank you to Scott. You know, Scott's always coming in clutch with the best memes, and he he was messaging in the Discord, and he made a typo. And he said irresponsible love instead of irresistible love, and now that's a card. We all agree.
It's a card.
Irresponsible love is a card. But anyway, so I wanted to make irresponsible takes. And so basically, we're all going to go around and just kind of give a hot take or a spicy take, something that we believe to be the way it is, but I think the rest of the community might not have the same sentiment, or even the rest of us might disagree and might flame the person for the take that they're going to give. And so I thought this would be a fun way to kind of talk about some of the cards that we have in our game that, or some things in our game that we think are very powerful, and we're going to convince each other of, or maybe get laughed at. And you know what? I'm ready to get laughed at. How about you guys?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
So I'll start it off since I'm the one bringing the spice here. So my take is that Irresistible Love is the 5th strongest uncommon card in Ward right now. What's your thoughts? That's my take. Anyone? Irresistible.
Well, you gotta
like
say
to
what
name
the
the
ones
other
above it
four?
are.
All right, yeah. I'm glad you guys asked. You ready? So Irresistible is 5. So number 1, Kendo Tiger. Why is Kendo Tiger better than Irresistible Love? Because if he hits the
Doesn't
field
kill
while
Irresistible
Irresistible Love is on the field, it destroys Irresistible Love. So for
I
anybody
love
who's
how
out there who wants to, I know there was a big talk about Irresistible Love being a super busted card in the Discord. I'm about to give you guys all the beautiful counter to Irresistible Love. Run a
I feel
Kendo
attacked.
Tiger in your deck. As long as they don't have any negating spells, effect negates, he pops that Irresistible Love. So Kendo Tiger, number 1, is your one shop counter for Irresistible Love. All right, number 2.
Perfect. What's number 2?
Here we go, Billy. You're gonna love this one because this is probably
I'm
one of
ready
your
for it.
favorite Gen 2 cards.
Hit me with Bunnysaurus,
Bunnysaurus.
baby. Let's go.
Bunnysaurus is a better uncommon than Irresistible Love. Why? Because Bunnysaurus
Because it can counter Irresistible Love.
Bunnysaurus has a really cool effect. So if someone tries to play Irresistible Love, you can play an uncounterable counter called Bunnysaurus to stop Irresistible Love. So there's 2 uncommons. So for all the people who think Irresistible is so busted, don't worry. I'm gonna keep it rolling. we're getting it going good, right? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm a fan of the list. I like those cards.
all right, card number 3 in the 3rd slot. I think this card is going to see a lot more play going forward. I mean, we've already talked about it a little bit. Mind Sap. So I think Mind Sap, although it doesn't affect Irresistible Love, if someone plays Irresistible Love, since Mind Sap is a flash spell, let's just say their creature has a powerful effect, you can play Mind Sap in response to Irresistible Love and potentially shut down whatever crazy. Let's say they have an assassin. Let's say they have whatever. They're trying to keep their assassin alive. You can shut down the assassin's effect or shut down any effect that could be potential. And I think number 3, I think Mind Sap. Yes, you might debate it. Mind Sap, I think, is stronger than Irresistible Love. I think it'll be in more decks.
It might be a common, Harry, but
I'm pretty sure it's common.
No, Mind Sap's uncommon.
Brother,
I did my
common.
research. It is an
it is uncommon.
It is an uncommon card, Mind Sap.
Dang, I can't read.
That's all
gotcha,
good.
I guess.
It's all
All right,
good.
what's number 4?
All right, number 4. Now this one might be a little debatable, and that's okay. Like I said, it's a hot take, but I think people should be running Corn Creeper. Corn Creeper is my secret tool that I beat Billy with, and it might not play under Irresistible Love, but I think in a lot of cases, Corn Creeper can do a bunch of surprise damage and kind of like a hidden creature trap card that definitely should find places in people's deck as like a, ooh, gotcha, surprise. Like, now I'm going to get to have a big old hit. And so those are my 4 other cards that go above Irresistible Love. So take it away. What do you guys think? A hot take?
Dang, that's a hot take.
Irresistible Love is the 5th.
Definitely a hot take.
5th best uncommon card.
I was with you till you said Corn Creeper.
I lost him at Corn Creeper. That's not bad.
Yeah, you might have lost him.
It's the 4th best.
That's not bad. Yeah, it's only the 4th best. I don't mind that.
Although it's kind of funny putting Kendo Tiger number 1.
Kendo Tiger number 1.
That's just a shot at me, and I'm fine with it.
It's awesome.
I just think, like I said, there was a big talk about Irresistible Love in the Discord and how people were saying it's such an unfair and whatever fun card, and I'm just trying to give people a way to deal with it. If you don't want to deal with it, there's ways to deal with it. All right, and you can shut it down. So.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I mean, I was hoping you guys would disagree. I was hoping everyone was going to flame the hell out of me and say, how does Kendo Tiger shut my opponent out of Magic cards? How does Bunnysaurus stop that stuff? I was like, yeah.
Those things do. I mean, you can't, I don't know, with Kendo Tiger, if love is stopping you and your creature's at like 2 HP, all right, you're dead now. Irresistible Love gone.
Exactly. So no more stuck for 7 turns without getting out of Irresistible Love. So if you're losing all your games, if you're losing the tournaments because of Irresistible Love, just know that I gave you my hot take, and there are very good counters to that card. All right,
Hell
Billy.
yeah.
All right, pass it around. There you go. You got to
Tyler.
beat that. Irresistible
I'm
love.
I'm I'm going next.
Yeah, Tyler, you can go next.
Alright, here it is. The one that the whole reason that this segment was made up. In the competitive scene, the Raccoon Knight is dog shit. Not no. Okay. Lightning
Burn
strike
him!
instantly kills it. Most people will be running things that have high hit modifiers with their creatures, or either with their creatures or with the equips that they're running. Easily hit an AL12. Backstab exists. I don't know. I just have never, when anybody has ever played a Raccoon Knight against me, I've never been scared of it whatsoever.
No, that's a fair take. I mean, no, okay. I'm about to flame you. I think Raccoon Knight for an AL12 that takes no summon requirement to come out. It's too good. It's like it's I don't know. It's like a free creature, a free AL creature that's AL12. You know, it's like how do you can't just say that's like great. I love that you use Lightning Strike. That is a good card. I think Lightning Strike.
I'd take an assassin any day of the week.
That is true. I think Assassin's speed is something that you have
I
to
didn't
take
say
into-
Raccoon Knight wasn't good. I said it's not good in the competitive scene. I think it's not very good.
I mean that's fair. Hey, in my in our own WWB tournament, it was probably the most common card behind Assassin that existed in the tournament. When you say Billy, it was pretty good. Everybody was running it. Billy's
Yeah,
like
I'd say so.
not impressed.
Well, it's funny because I know I also personally love Raccoon Knight, just because of the art, and I think it's a fun. The funny part is, okay, Raccoon Knight is Gen 2 Frogman,
On
and
steroids.
word for word, it's Gen
But
2
good.
Frogman,
On steroids.
but good. The funny thing about Raccoon Knight is that when they were making Gen 2, Raccoon Knight was originally an uncommon and a 1/1. And after getting the art from from the artist and getting Fabricio and everything like that, they looked at it and said, "Hey, this card is too cool to not have to be just a 1/1 frogman. We need to make it better." So they made a 4/4 and a legendary.
Hell yeah.
Wow! Look at the lore. We're even getting the big lore behind it. That's crazy. I did not know that. So.
Well, no, yeah, there's your lore for the day. But
Well, look at that,
yeah, I
Tyler.
mean,
Even the
favorite.
people who made the game, they said that he's too cool not to be not played. So I
It
don't
doesn't mean he's
know. Kind
Cool
of hot.
card, just
You
bait.
you're definitely upsetting the
Hey,
whole raccoon ward community.
Yeah.
They're coming for you, Tyler. Billy's got all the baby creatures. Tyler has all the raccoons. They're coming.
It just be like that sometimes, unfortunately.
dude.
No, I love the hot take. I do kind of agree with you. Maybe a lot of people think that Raccoon is a great card, but you do make a very good point. There is a lot of ways to get around it, and when at least from what I've been seeing from tournaments, 30 HP really doesn't mean much, especially like you were saying, Tyler, with creatures like Assassin, with creatures that can easily hit those AL numbers, have high modifiers. It's like 30 HP, maybe what lasts you 2 hits, 3 hits if you're looking good, right? Like it doesn't actually do a whole heck of a lot when it comes to it. And like, yeah, 4/4 stat line, like you were saying, Billy, better than a Frogman, but I can see Tyler's point where it's like it's not. There's other creatures you can run and other effects that definitely can help out there. And like I think if Raccoon wasn't such a rare card, I think more people would be playing it. But yeah, you definitely don't see a lot at tournaments, or you don't see it being very effective. No one is going, "Oh, I won the tournament because I played Raccoon Knight," right? Like I don't hear
Everyone flame Tyler in the
Marty.
comments.
Marty said in the chat, he said Frogman versus Raccoon Knight.
anyone. Oh boy,
Yes, that
gotta
would
get the
certainly be a fight.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Get the
All
brawl
right.
going.
What's your hot take, Billy?
Yeah, Billy, let's hear your hot take, sir.
Oh man. You know, it's I've been kind of like debating like how do I want to go about this because I have lots of hot takes. Um, I've got two, and I think I'll just go with the second one because I don't know if the first one's too debatable.
Hit us.
It may not be that hot of a hot take.
Hot take it, dude.
Um,
Let's go.
all right. No, I'll go with the first one. Okay. Uh,
Let's
similar
go.
to similar to Tyler's thought of Raccoon Knight is garbage. Uh, I
Literally.
think the creator is garbage. It is
Whoa!
nah, it's garbage.
Whoa! Okay, that caught me off guard for sure.
Sorry.
Creator is garbage. All right,
Straight
sir.
up.
Defend, please. I'm,
Easy.
I'm curious to see how this goes.
Okay. Well, let's start out with does anybody does anybody successfully run it in a tournament? No. Mason did give a good attempt, but it didn't get anywhere. Maybe we'll have some more attempts at it.
Mm,
When anybody makes a creator deck, um, you are cheesing it out. You're not actually paying the 3 sacks because everyone acknowledges that 3 sacks is insane and that it's too much to put into your cemetery. And if you have to play enough creatures to sack it and play it like naturally, it hurts too much. Two, it's easy to get off the field, just like every other big sack creature. Yes, you could play heroism and all of that in lead boots, and that's great and all. But it's frankly it's easy to kill heroism and it's easy to one shot a creator because assassin backstab exists. And really, I mean you could do backs two double backstab on any card and you can get rid of it in one shot. And and it just takes up too much. It's half of your cemetery HP. So I don't know. My last point to defend it is that maybe y'all think I'm kind of funny saying it, but it only does 45 average damage. Yes, it is the highest average damage in the game. It's only 45, and its ceiling is low because it doesn't have a multiplier on it. Assassin does 45 damage average without any equips to it. Any equip I add to Assassin is 3x, and any equip I add to Creator is 1x. And it's not even fair. And Assassin takes 10 HP in my cemetery, and Creator takes 150. So, what world would I ever play a Creator over an Assassin?
that's crazy.
And if you say, oh well, it's good 150 HP, it's an AL12, great. The card that I'm comparing it against is the one that kills it in one shot. They both one shot each other, which is kind of funny, but um,
One hurts a
that
lot
that
less in the cemetery, that's for sure.
for sure. I have other creatures I can run with Assassin, and also if I get to the end of the game and I haven't summoned Creator, I lose. But if I get to the end of the game and I haven't summoned Assassin, I can still play the game.
Man,
Um,
Billy,
that's my hot take,
Billy with the
and
sorry,
I'll even go.
Billy.
I mean, it was Assassin was better than Creator pre nerf, and Assassin is better than Creator post nerf. Maybe that's a hotter take.
Wow, comparing it to the assassin, I think that's a pretty hot take. I mean, yeah, when you look at the mythics, I can agree with you. Like I've seen Undead King try to perform too in tournaments, and like I guess if that was more where it's at, it's like if you just say overall Creator's just a pretty bad card. I mean, I would argue a little bit that it's like I don't think Creator in itself is a bad card, but yeah, just the fact of what pieces and what cards come in the game that potentially can stop it, I think it makes it a really hard card. But just the fact that it is the vanilla stat line that gives you such a, you're right. Like, okay, like you were saying, it's like a 10-10, like you only have a set amount of damage, but it's just like sometimes that's all you need is you just need that amount of damage to get through. And yeah, you have to cheese it out. But I also come from a game of where Yu-Gi-Oh exists, where like that is kind of what like if you know not to talk too much about Yu-Gi-Oh, but if you know it's like why they created a special summon deck in Yu-Gi-Oh is because they wanted ways to bring out
The
those big
cheese out creatures, yeah, I
trees
know.
out big creatures exactly. So that's like exactly what that whole thing. That's how the whole special summon deck or like extra deck and
Oh, I
everything was
get
created.
it. It's just even if I can, I've made creator decks and they're fun to play. I don't think it's gonna do anything in a tournament setting because it's just
Right.
even if I cheese it out and I'm playing Tyler, he's gonna be like, "Great, I'm gonna play Assassin with a backstab, and I'm gonna scroll silence whatever you do to it." So it goes away.
I think
You
you're
know what I
making
mean?
I think you're making a good argument. I really think people should still run creator. I think there is definitely ways to make creator decks work. I think you are right.
Undead King creator.
Yeah, Undead King
Wow.
creator. That'd be quite the play. 2 creators in the Undead King with a reduce the
I'll
burden. 3 reduce the
I'll give
burdens.
you a little bit of history.
Hell
Creator,
yeah.
if you look at Legacy Creator, it was 4 sacks, and nobody played it. One, because you couldn't get it, and two, because it was just insane. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
sack 4 creatures for this thing, and then I believe they reduced it down for the time for 2 sacks, and then everybody ran it, and then I was like, okay, it's too good, so balance it at 3. I could be wrong on that second part, but
I was just
yeah, it
about
was
to
over.
ask that. If it was down to 2, would it be too good?
Yeah, so I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. I know for sure it used to be 4.
I still, like you said, for mythic wise, I still think it's kind of a hot take because yeah, it's like definitely it's a good card, and like you said, there's a lot of good use for it. I think limited summoning it out with different cards, ways to bounce it back into your hand. Like I've seen those decks perform, and it's like you could get a win with that deck if you know, yeah, maybe you have to rely on some rolls, and yeah, like I said, there's a lot of cards that can counter you, but like
Yeah, and I could win with only turtles. I mean,
exactly, you know, and I don't know. If you get a heroism on a creator, it's like, whew, that feels pretty good. But like you said, Billy, you still have to bring it out. Like,
I used to
And
be scared of
backstab exists.
I used to be scared of heroism on a creator, and now I'm like, I want you to play that because it's guaranteed 150 in your cemetery. Like, please,
Yeah.
I'd love
Bye
to do that.
bye. See you later. Have a good
all
night.
right, all
Yeah,
right, all right, all right, boys. Okay, okay. I still
too
think it's
hot.
a hot take. It's all right. You
That's a
guys
hot
might be on
take.
the
I'll
same.
acknowledge.
I'm sure in the comments, I'm sure everywhere people are gonna come at you. I think the creator is a good card, and yeah, you
I think it's better than Undead King, but
for mythic
not
wise.
by much.
Ooh, we another hot take. We might have to go over the Undead King. That was
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
well.
I don't
I want to
know.
do it. I have another hot take. Another or sorry, I shouldn't say hot take. They're irresponsible takes. So that means we should not be giving this
Yes,
advice to anybody because they're so
this is
irresponsible.
not ward advice. This
But
is our
all right,
opinion.
here it is.
Yeah.
My next hot take is perfect shark deck will never win a tournament. That is my hot
Harry,
take.
I'm not even kidding. I was debating doing my
No.
hot take as
All
that.
right. Well, if that was your second hot take, I'm taking it. I
It's
think
yours. That's
I think
hilarious.
perfect sharks deck will never win a tournament. Do I
Ooh,
do
Chris ain't gonna like
Defend.
that one.
do I
Yep,
need to
defend.
explain myself? Should I explain
Yes,
myself?
you do, because you got a
Yeah,
lot of people who like
For
sharks.
so we
yeah,
did a
you're the person that said the hot take.
all right, but yeah. Well, all right. So my main thing, I've seen the Shark deck perform now in a lot of tournaments, and we brought the Shark Man himself, Nelson, on, and we talked about the Shark deck in depth. And overall of it, I see it have the same flaws that it had in the Gen 1 that it has in Gen 2 or sorry, in the Gen 2 only as it does now with Gen 1 and Gen 2. Yes, there are a bunch of new cards that let you draw power, let you have protection, have different ways to deal with things, but I still find it that those Sharklings, kind of back to your whole Raccoon Knight thing, 30 HP, they rely too much on having cards, and if people have things like Irresistible Love that shut you down, it's like you instantly just lose these creatures. Those Sharklings do not last. It does sound like Billy, you had a very interesting one where someone put in a psychic toad into it. I just don't think that's enough because, like you said, maybe in a mirror match it works, or maybe if they get lucky, it's the last card they draw, or the last creature that you have if that's your only shark or whatever, and they can take it from you. But I don't actually see that deck perform, and I'm a little worried that yeah, that Sharkling just is way too hard to keep alive, and you're not able to get to your pieces fast enough. That's my hot take.
I think,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think heroism definitely helps, but I don't know if it'll never win a tournament though. That's pretty
that's
insane.
Never win a tournament is the hot part of this take.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like it's a
your-
good deck, but I think at some point probably, but
I've just seen it in too many tournaments. It doesn't even make finals. They don't even make finals. And again,
All right, Harry. I'm running a shark deck for
no,
the
I
next untapped
challenge
tournament.
everybody. I want to see it happen, but I'm a little like, even if the whole pool is sharks, I ain't gonna run it. No point in that. I ain't running the perfect shark deck, but I think even at its fullest form with 3 perfect sharks, 3 sharklings, 3 great whites, I don't think it can pull off a win. I've seen the test. I've seen the tournaments, and that's my hot take.
Boy wins a tournament and says, "Guess what? Sharks will never win it."
I'm waiting.
fuck
I'm waiting for
you
the first.
guys.
I'm waiting for the first shark win, and everybody who plays sharks is gonna be like, "You stupid idiot! You thought you couldn't win a tournament." I'm ready for
Yeah,
it.
they're gonna get you.
Come at
And they're
me.
gonna beat you in the
Billy did
finals
the
for
baby
it.
creatures, Tyler did the raccoons. I'm doing the sharks. The shark decks are never gonna top in tournament ever.
All right.
Here, I'll do a hot take. Alcanos will never win a second tournament.
Whoa, hold on. I take that. I think. All right. Well, Ward Bowl. We'll just have to see what happens. Man's crapping on my birds. At least the Elkanos have won a tournament, so can't say anything about them now.
It's okay.
Alright.
The dragons are going back. They're testing things.
All right.
Be like that.
Any other hot takes, boys? You guys got any more you want to give real quick? Nothing. All right. Well, there we go. Ooh.
I do. Lastly, before we get to the end of the podcast, I do want to. I went down to the cities the day after we got done the Shakopee tournament, and Billy came to my hotel that we were staying at. We played some games, and I think we played 3 normal games, played 2 games against his tournament deck, and then played 1 against the deck that Erica was playing in the tournament. And then we played against Cosmogus, the boss.
Boss fight?
On hard mode.
Yeah, on the hard mode. And we ended up building 2 decks quickly together, and I ended up getting I had an aid card hand. I had assassin, so I killed my creature, put the assassin out, put 3 creators gifts on it, an all-in-one, a backstab, rolled, got the backstab, attacked. He was Irresistible Love, so he's free to attack. Attacked him. Played Children of the Forest, or no, I played Martial Arts Man. Got it.
No, it's
Played.
Better version.
No, I didn't get Children. The Children was the one that I failed. That was the third one I played.
No, you're right.
Oh, you have
But
to.
yeah, then
You
played.
have to play. You have to roll for children.
It affects.
I don't know. I think so. Yeah, but we'll have to double check. What they'll probably tell us. I mean, I know Marty's watching right now, so maybe he knows. But yeah, we were just rolling for it. So rolled for Martial Arts Man, got it. Rolled for Children, didn't get it. And I dealt like, I don't know, what was it, like 670 something damage to it.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah.
We I don't know. We cleared it in like 3 or 4 turns. It was pretty. We walked it.
So what you're saying is the bosses better beware, because we're all gonna be showing up on that this Sunday, and we're coming to get those bosses on Cosmogus. He ain't gonna stand a chance. I know. I was just looking around for my deck. I don't know where I set it, but I brought home
Marty said, personally, I'd say you wouldn't have to since it is affecting your damage, but
Right.
I'm the nice one.
Yes, you are, Marty. And just so Marty knows, I support his Elkanos. They better not hit our boys. Marty, don't let them do it dirty to our birds. I heard them getting all worked up about its summoning effect. We got this, all right? We're gonna keep the birds at top. Don't you worry, Marty. I got you.
Yeah. We got the Eagles winning. We got the fucking Alcanos winning. Get the birds out of here, bro.
Birds be winning it all. Let's go.
No, birds aren't real.
No, I
Birds
like that,
aren't real.
I like that final thought. I mean, I would definitely want to talk about the boss things. Sounds like you're bringing assassins, backstabs. What's other things that if people are looking to come to the boss battle or people are getting prepared to make boss battle decks? I know we did some cards that we were saying. I did one of all the rarities. I didn't know if you guys want to go around again and maybe talk about just like at each rarity level what's a card that we would have in a boss battle that we would want to put in our decks, because I think it is very important as it seems like they're promoting it quite a bit. I've seen that they want to do a bunch of other modes potentially too, which I'm very excited about that they were saying in the Discord. So maybe start with the boss battle, and then we'll get our final takes on just maybe any of those other modes that they might have brought up. But real quick, let's just start real quick. Common. Everybody go around. What's a common card that you think people should put in their decks?
Attack beacon. Woo!
Ooh,
No, that's actually a good answer.
uncommon. I think attack beacon, but yeah, uncommon card.
Is it?
Yeah. Is attack beacon.
Warming glow.
There you go.
Nightmare claw.
Nightmare Claw. Heck yeah.
I was gonna say metallic bone, but that's an uncommon, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Is an uncommon. Oh, that's another one that can beat out Irresistible. Nah, just kidding. I think Irresistible's better than a metallic bone. For a common, like I said, I love the Hand of Fate one. I'm kind of curious if, like Tyler was saying, there is a couple bosses that, like, not bug spray, unfortunately. I don't think there's any bug bosses, which is a little sad because I really want bug spray to get some showcasing. But I think there's there's definitely some undead creature bosses where I think, Holy Water is definitely.
I'm in Holy Water.
Yeah, Holy Water is definitely a card that I think will get some play. Play some Holy Water. Again, back to what Marty was saying, I don't think Holy Water should have to roll because you're not affecting the boss in any way. And then you're just doing 2 times damage to any undead creature, which I think everyone's going to have access to a Holy Water. It's common. And so, that's my common pick. Uncommon, Tyler kind of jumped on his attack beacon in the similar vein as like Holy Water, is just giving yourself all your teammates who all have vanilla creatures another dice to attack with. Very good. Billy, what do you think? What's an uncommon? Metallic bone, you're saying?
Bone is good.
Yeah,
Love is really good. It helped to
roll for bone.
Yeah.
Roll for bone.
It's kind of funny that we all talk about Irresistible Love in those cards, but I think a lot of those cards are kind of lose their effect. Like you guys were talking about. Hey, there's Kog'Maw.
Hey.
Let's go. We're taking him down. But like you said, I think a lot of those cards that we play in normal, like competitive, aren't going to see that much play because your people are really going to probably focus on cards that are going to go off more often, right? You don't want to be playing Ignite. You don't want to be playing cards where it's like, I need to roll to see if this affects the boss, right? So it's like, I think as we're kind of alluding to, it's like cards that are like field spells, equip cards to you or your creature is always good. You want to make sure you're handling or like setting your decks up in that way so that there's way less rolling that could affect your game, right? It's like you don't want to have that randomness because the bosses will they thrive in that randomness of the card game, especially with their powerful cards, as Tyler might showcase a little bit. Yes, he's a cool guy. Look at him, Cosmogus. Is he a humanoid or is he undead? Is he undead? I can't see his thing. Is he undead? No.
No, he's the swirly freaking galaxy cosmic. Yeah, makes sense. Cosmogus.
Yeah.
And then for anyone that couldn't read what the boss's ability, during the boss's turn, the boss will initiate battle twice.
Oof. Yeah, that can be scary. But
kind of funny when we were playing. The boss almost entirely only attacked Tyler. I think he hit me once. I'm just sitting there like, I'm just a little cracking. Yeah.
Ooh, boss even gets backstab. Oh boy, we should be scared. Like I said, I mean, rare. Maybe we just go around rare. Is there a rare card that you would think about putting in the deck? I want to give my shout out to the Beowulf. I think he attacks first, so definitely a good counter into bosses. Even if you'll still get to try to get a hit. I like the Beowulf.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah, true. Wait, why not? The half HP.
You can't just
yeah.
Yeah, don't try to cut down its HP. Don't play demonic magic on the boss. It doesn't work. They don't get hit by percentage damage, right? So no hell
Yeah.
have no fury, no demonic magic. I
Mimic
mean,
chest.
yeah, don't mimic chest. Unfortunately, that was that was the debate me and Tyler, and I don't know if Billy you were there, but we were talking about that. I was like, what if you just like mimic chest, hell have no fury, but then Joey told us at the tournament, it's like boss decks don't have any flash spells, so
Play Twister. Woot woot.
ooh, Twister, draw cards, make everyone draw cards and discard cards. Everyone's favorite.
Draw some
including the
cards,
boss.
baby. Draw some
Hell
cards.
yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, all right. So like I said, this Sunday, it sounds like we're all three gonna be at the boss battles. So please.
No, Billy won't be there.
Billy
I
won't
don't
be at the
think.
boss battle. Sorry, Billy.
And also,
be at
and
the-
when
The crack
and what are you doing here, pal? We missed epics and legendaries, the best
Okay.
cards to do.
Sorry. We'll continue. All right. Epic cards for the boss. What is a card that everyone should be putting in their deck for an epic slot? Ghost form, I'm assuming is gonna be a common one.
Visitor.
Ooh, visitor. Yep. Ghost form. What's that, Tyler?
Play junk.
Oh, junk. Look
Yeah,
at him
that's true. Read the
showing
card.
off.
Junk Scarecrow for against that card. Makes it so that the boss gets the creator's attack. So 10 plus 10. Gets
There you
power
go.
of a god. Gets
Heck yeah.
equipped to him, so
What happens if you play
he
magic?
definitely.
Can you play magic steel against the boss? Is that
It would just
possible?
negate because all the boss cards say equipped to the boss.
So since you're
So
not
yeah,
a
you
boss,
magic
you
skill
can't.
and still equip it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
can't
but
equip
you
it.
see, I stealed his boss card, making me the boss now.
Yeah. All right. What? All right. Legendary. Fine. We'll fire off real quick. Legendaries. What should people put in for legendaries? I think we've already kind of went over it. Boss doesn't like backstabs.
Doesn't like backstabs, doesn't like assassins. Probably don't play Cosmic Negation. That would be rude to everybody that you're playing with.
I need I need a game mode where you first law is the best legendary in the game, and unfortunately bosses do not have a hand, so don't play any cards that affect a boss's hand,
Yeah,
like
probably
life
not.
sap or anything like that, or terrifying, or what's that one called? I'm trying to think.
Terrifying Roar literally does nothing.
No, not terrifying roar. What's the Gen 2, the one that does 10 damage for drawing? Don't play that card either. Absolute Terror.
Terror.
Absolute
Do not
terror.
play Absolute Terror because it actually does no value. So cards like that do kind of feel bad. I mean, for all the burn lovers out there, I'm one of the burn lover people. It does kind of suck that the boss is unaffected by drawing power and that he doesn't have a hand. So some cards definitely don't get to be showcased the best in the boss battles, but yeah, I think
Yeah, it switches up the cards that you'd want to use. I mean, even cards like Revival Priest can never go wrong with that in a boss battle.
mhm.
I mean, if you're playing like in a group and you work out that you're playing like a Foggy Knight equip deck meta, you could easily play cards like Helping Hand and just start going pretty wild. So
No, for sure. And oop, what's that, Billy?
I was gonna say Silence from the Grave could be pretty good because turns take a long time. So
yeah,
good play. If you just coordinate like, hey, I'm gonna blow up the field. So
No,
blows
makes
up the
sense.
field and the car or the boss just loses like 6-7
Really?
cards.
See, I'm
I
kind of
wonder if Break Free. I wonder if Break Free gets through Silence from the Grave.
it does. So yeah, maybe not.
Yeah. But
I was just thinking
anyways,
my go-to, like I said, common card, hand of fate, let you look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck and then put them back in any order. But I think with that you probably have to roll, right, with hand of fate now that I'm thinking about it, since you're affecting his deck or I don't know, it's not targeting.
yeah, I don't. I would assume, but I'm not sure.
We'll
I
have
don't
to
know. Marty, like with Marty, he said, yeah. I mean, you don't have. I don't know. It's not targeting him directly. It's targeting his deck. So I'm not sure.
right. Well,
He
it'll be
said that's a yes. He
Ooh,
said yeah.
you do have to
So
roll.
you do have to roll for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, makes sense. Anything that's kind of affecting his side of the field, I'm assuming, just you have to roll for it. So
Yeah,
Oh, you
where
know what?
backstab isn't actually affecting them; it's affecting you. That's the difference.
Gotcha.
Harry, I'm
gotcha.
gonna change my common answer. I'm gonna say full moon. Everyone plays
Ooh.
3 full moons in a wear deck.
Yeah, wear decks, full
Hell
moons.
yeah.
It's okay if everyone wants to hear the best way to beat the boss. I brought it up at the tournament and I was a little unsure about it, but I since I was running the
Alkanost.
since I was running the Elkanos deck, I brought it up to Joey and I just said, well, for the boss battles, since Elkanos, the way its effect works is based on every Elkanos on the field, so in the game.
Good.
So if everyone on your team just runs the birds, man, I'm telling you, they're too good. If all the birds are on the field, you're just giving crazy modifiers to your main Elkanos, and then you could definitely do some real damage with that. But
You play a doubles tournament and you bring an Alkanost deck, hoping your partner's an Alkanost.
Yeah.
Eventually everybody
Pray.
will be everyone's a bird person, Billy. Don't you know? Eventually that will be. There will be no more sharks.
Yeah, yeah.
There'll be no more
That's
sharks,
how.
so no more shark decks can win a tournament, and it'll just be birds.
Birds versus dragons and turtles.
Well,
Yeah.
now.
But all right, guys, I think we're gonna have to call that for episode 5. But yeah, like I said, this Sunday we're looking forward to the boss battles. I'm gonna be there on Friday at the scrimmage, too. So if you want to come out and see me or hang out, obviously I know people who are too far away who can't come, but anyone who's in the area definitely would love to see you guys. Again, we're on YouTube. The comments are fixed. So please, a bunch of children aren't going to get to watch this content because I fixed the comments. So please go put comments down in the comment section for all.
Yay.
But yeah, like,
Woo.
subscribe, thumbs up. Also with the Spotify, if you're just listening, you're doing your day, whatever, you're just listening, please follow on Spotify. Please, just make sure you're doing everything you can to promote this because, we have a good time with it, but we also want it to have as many people viewing this as we can. We're trying to all grow the ward scene up, so let's keep it going, guys. But all right, have a good one. We are out of here. See ya.
Peace.
Have a good one. Peace.